He's like, man. I don't want to become a man. Is that Bryce? Yeah, Bryce Hunter. I was going to ask about Shango right now. Because the rotation.
Guys, as usual, Coach, you'll open comment, raise your hand, keep them up for a minute so I can get everybody.
How we doing today? Good. Well, I really don't have any different comments than I had after the game from a Mississippi State standpoint. We obviously did some good things in the game, made a lot of explosive plays on offense, executed in the passing game a lot more efficiently and effectively, and defensively we made stops when we needed to. When they made plays, their offense requires a tremendous amount of discipline for everybody to do their job, and when we had little lapses here and there, they were able to make a few plays, but we were able to get them stopped for the most part when we needed to. Special teams wise, I think there's areas that we definitely need to improve in, and that's something that we certainly want to focus on this week. I think that this week, the old Shawshank Redemption statement, you're either busy living or you're busy dying, really kind of means you're not going to really stay the same. So from our perspective, we're either going to get better or we're going to get worse. We're probably not going to stay the same. So we need each unit on the team, each group on the team, each individual on the team to take ownership and be responsible for the things that they need to do to work this week and improve as a team. We're very pleased that Jalen was co-SEC Offensive Player of the Week. You got the Players of the Week that we have, but Chattanooga is a very well-coached team. Russ has done a really good job there. They're 8-2, or they're one of the top teams in their division. They have 14 starters returning from last year's team. They basically do a really good job on offense with the quarterback run type stuff in the play action game, which is difficult to defend. They really play hard on defense and special teams, and this is a game that we need to focus on what we need to do technically to get better as a team, and try to go out and play our best game and build on what we did in the last game.
Coach, I just wanted to know what you saw from Joshua Jacobs today, and are you happy with his progression as running back?
Yeah, he played really well in the last game. I think he played well early in the season. He went through a few weeks there where maybe didn't have quite the production, but I really thought he looked like his old self in this last game and was very productive.
Come back over to John C.
Bobby Petrino has kind of said that maybe we need to blow people out more to impress the playoff committee and stuff. Do you think that margin of victory should be a factor when they're weighing?
Well, I've heard people on the committee say no, that's not a factor. That's not something that's considered. I don't think it should be considered. I don't think that beating another team by an embarrassing score really should be something that, from a sportsmanship standpoint or a common respect standpoint for the other team, and their players and their families, that that's not really something that should be a part of the game. So I'm thinking that it doesn't affect the committee. It's not a criteria, but and I certainly agree with thinking that it shouldn't be.
Come back over here with Aaron.
After watching the film, what did you see from right guard with Corin and Kasher?
I thought they both played well in the game and did a good job. So, you know, we'll continue to give them work and reps there. But I thought both guys did a really good job in the game.
Back over here with Michael.
Having the number 2, number 3, number 4 teams losing the country, does that help? Does that send a message to your team that's on a 22-game winning streak at this point?
No, I think, you know, the message is when you win and you control your own destiny. When you don't, you allow somebody else to determine what your fate's going to be. So we have all these teams that lost one game now. Somebody has to decide who gets to do what. So if you put yourself in that situation, you let somebody else decide what your fate is. If you take care of your business and do things the way you need to do it, then maybe you can control your own destiny by how you play. And that's certainly much more the way we would like for it to be from our perspective. We got lots of tough games that we'll have to play between now and then, but you know, we want to take them one game at a time and focus on improving.
Come back here in the front with Mark.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to ask about Alphonse Taylor. Considering how many games he's missed and the conditioning, will he be able to come back this year and play it off?
I think that's, you know, a medical decision that I am not assuming that he's going to come back. It would be a bonus if he did. I don't think he will, based on the amount of time that we've had. So, you know, it's something that we're still evaluating, but it's something that we're not counting on.
Come back here in the front with Ken.
I wanted to ask about Corin as well. A senior guy who's been around a while. How has he managed his situation, and is that a challenge? And, you know, what kind of guy is he? What kind of teammate has he been?
Well, he's been a great teammate, and he's been really good for our team, and he's worked hard. He was a defensive player, got moved to offense, went through the development of what you have to do to become a player at a new position that's really kind of a developmental position that takes a lot of technique and learning, and has developed very nicely there, has been a tackle for us and a swing tackle. But when we started to evaluate how he was practicing and how he's played, you know, we felt like maybe he's one of the best 5 guys that we should give him a shot at playing a little bit more. He's older, he's more experienced, and he did a good job and took advantage of it.
Go back over here with Cecil.
Also, Coach, if you could update us on Bo, Scarborough, who didn't play Saturday and still.
Yeah, well, you know, Bo has a sprained knee, and you know, medically, we think he's okay. He just got to go out there now and, you know, get himself back in condition and develop confidence in what he needs to do. And like I always say, you know, it's not just about what the doctor says, it's also about what the player says. And, you know, hopefully he'll be able to make enough progress this week in that area to be able to come back and contribute in the game.
Coach, you've had so much success in November. What does it take to win in that month? Because that's basically when all this is being determined on who's going to do where and who's going to win go to bowl games.
Well, I think players have to have a real focus on what they need to do right now, and I don't think that creating a lot of anxiety about I think what happens is, you know, players start getting result oriented, and they start saying, okay, when we lost in November, I think we played to keep from getting beat rather than been aggressive to play to win. And I think that comes to some degree from anxiety that gets created, worrying about outcomes rather than focusing on what you need to do to get the outcome that you want. And that's certainly, you know, what we try to do here. And hopefully our players will continue to respond to that in a positive way.
We've got a couple more. Alex and Joe.
Tony Brown got an interception this last game. How have you seen him progress on the field, and kind of do you feel like he's developing the player you expect him to be?
I think, Tony did a nice job in the game. There's certainly areas that he can improve in, and I think one of those things is just, being a disciplined guy that you can trust and count on, that's going to go out there and do his job, play in and play out. And I think he's making improvements in those areas, and actually, did a pretty decent job in the game, especially when he was playing star. So, look, all the players need to focus on things they need to improve on. Nobody can be satisfied with where they are right now, and I'm certainly not satisfied with where we are right now. So, just got to keep on focusing every guy, every individual player, like I said before, and every group, and what they need to do to play a little better.
Hey, Coach. This is just another playoff committee type question. Do you think being a conference champ should trump anything else on a resume when it comes to consideration for the playoff?
I think I could answer the question better if you gave me a specific scenario. I think that being a conference champ is certainly a significant accomplishment for any team or any program. But I also think that sometimes there are circumstances that a team can play really, really well for an entire season, and are we basing the playoff on the whole body of work that a team does throughout the year in terms of all the teams that they beat, the quality opponents they played against, or is it just about one game? And when you talk about conference championships, if you play a conference championship, some leagues don't even have conference championships. So it's not sort of a fair and equitable way if you're going to base that particular group on didn't play a conference championship, so you're doing the whole body of work. Then it seems a little more reasonable to look at everyone else's entire body of work when you decide, who the best teams are. Hey, we won a national championship here and didn't win the SEC. I mean, I think that in that particular year, LSU and Alabama had the two best teams. So we had to play in the regular season. So we played 9-6. There are 42 guys, somebody wrote an article, that played in the NFL that played in that game on that field that day. So they were two really, really good teams. Well, both teams in the same division couldn't go to the conference championship, so we ended up playing in the championship game. So was that the right thing or the wrong thing? I'm sure everybody could debate that. But I believe that those were the two best teams. So it depends on what the goal is.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.